Okay, I would like to come to my witches once again, and it's really hard on witches, and it's just a lot of people may at this point now glorify uh witchcraft and being a witch, but you know, thanks to our ancestors, we have the privilege to be able to do so because um, at one time to say that you were a witch, and you just wouldn't say that because I mean they would torture you. I mean, forget about they will kill you. Okay, that's the easy part. But I mean, they would torture you, and it's painful to be tortured. Okay, I tell people all the time, this is not my first lifetime. I have been tortured in previous lifetimes or in my parallel life, in my parallel lives. Um, Long ago, I told you all about one of my parallel lives where, I was once a Caucasian woman. I had very, very, very fair skin, much, much fairer than the skin tone of Caucasians now. I was like paper white. I had long black flowing hair. It was really like woolly. It was not straight, really straight. It was really woolly, almost like a texture. It's hard to describe it, but it was very long and extreme down my back. And I never will forget, I had a husband, and he was a very mean, angry, nasty person to me. We lived in a huge castle, and that's why I'm so fascinated with castles, even though I had a bad experience in it. In our castle, matter of fact, I can still feel some of the water that leaked on me on one of the floors. We had a leak. You know how castles are. They're made of like concrete or whatever. But there was a particular spot that actually leaked, and there was a puddle there. So I can still remember that. I can still remember that damp smell. Even to the day, I love the smell of wet concrete because it kind of reminds me. I get the nostalgia of when back in those days, where I lived in that castle, and my husband was very wealthy, and those castles now you don't live in them by yourself. It's like the civilization lives in it. That's the way we lived, and there were lots of people that lived there, but they were not. Most of them were not allowed in certain chambers of the castle, and even myself, I was not allowed in certain places, and we had a huge ballroom where people just came from just everywhere. You understand? And we had these beautiful balls. With my violin teacher, she was like, I'm talking about my violin teacher now in this lifetime because I used to play a violin in that lifetime, and my violin teacher was like, I cannot believe you're catching on so fast. And I told her, I said, most of what you give me is very familiar because I'm studying from Samuel Applebaum's book, and she chooses not to go with the Suzuki method or any modern day, uh, practices or exercises in those books. That most people use. She goes with something that is very historical. So if you look up Samuel Applebaum, I mean, we're talking about 1900s, okay? And most of it is waltz music. And I told her I love the waltz. I don't know what it is. I'm a black woman. Never waltzed a day in my life. Don't even know. All I know is in my past life how waltz go. They usually take three beats. Dun dun. One quick stroke and three beats. One quick stroke and three beats. And the steps and all of that comes naturally to me. So that's the reason why I pick up on, you know, Samuel Applebaum's music so easily because that's the music they played when we had balls, and I played my violin. It was mostly waltz music. Okay. I always identified with the Irish for some reason in Ireland and those places like that. I have a connection there. Okay. A strong connection there. So anyway, the people, and it is strange because, like I say, we were very, very, very pale people, because we received really practically no light, no sunlight hardly, it was nothing but snow all the time. We had lots and lots of snow. It didn't look like it was summers and stuff like we have here. It's like tropical here. And so the reason why I'm bringing up the snow, because I'm gonna get to something. I never will forget, talking. I'm just romanticizing about the balls and how much fun we had. I never will forget this particular. My husband used to dress in armor because he had this fear. Okay, he had this fear of, you know, being attacked. He walked around with a sword all the time. He always had his armor on. And he had soldiers or knights or whatever you want to call them. We call them knights now. And they walked around most of the time with armor on because they couldn't even trust each other. And I never will forget, at the top, you can go to the top, but I never was allowed there. Only men were allowed there, and it had it's just like what you see now, the cannon bombs and the cannons and all of that stuff was stored there because we had to protect our civilization. Our civilization was in that castle, and so we had a parameter where no one else could cross that, or it would be serious harm. This particular time, my husband was in one of the chambers that I was not allowed into, but for some reason, I wanted to go there and go inside. I was not allowed, and mostly he guarded that door. Big old huge wooden door made out of wood that you just don't see that kind of wood now. The doors were like planks. They were like plank of wood about that thick. Our little doors are paper thin and they're wafers. They're hollow inside, but these were like compacted, aged wood, and that door was closed. And I decided that I would pick the handle up, big metal handle, because everything was handcrafted and stuff like that. We had, like, they didn't call them blacksmiths. They had they were iron workers. I don't know what their names were, but so all of our stuff was just made by hard labor, okay, hand and elbow grease. So I went to nudge and pull at the door a little bit. Don't ask me why. I just was curious. All of a sudden, I'm still stuck with the face of this man. And I'm talking about this, and I'm not even talking about what I really came to talk about, but I want to talk about it. Anyways, but when I opened the door, he launched at me. He launched at me, and I could still see his face dripping with sweat. I don't know what he was doing in that. It's every woman is curious about what her man is doing. What is he doing? Is he having an affair with me? What is going on in here? Okay. Why she can go in there and I can't go in there? Why all these people in it? Are y'all having an orgy in here? What's going on? He came with this long sword and he pierced me right here in my stomach. To this day, I'm serious. I still have problems with the stomach. He got me right here. I remember just being so surprised that the pain hadn't even set in yet. With me at that moment, it was just there's just a surprise. I can't believe it was just like it was like a movie. I mean, is this happening to me? Did this really happen to me? Because the pain hadn't set in, and then I looked down because I didn't think I was hurt. I didn't think I was hurt because I couldn't feel anything, and when I looked down, blood was pouring all over me. And I remember I had on a long black cloak of some kind that was woolly and heavy, and the blood. I thought it was just a liquid. It was just water or something because I couldn't see it because I was draped in black, and It was not until it got on my hand, my really, really white, feathery white hands, that I realized that I was bleeding. And I remember just running as fast as I can. And I remember just giving out. And I just landed in the snow. Once I got up there, I just landed in the snow. And I remember just being on my back, eagle style, just looking. For some reason, it's like I was looking above myself, at myself, and that the blood was actually soaking into the snow. Now, why did I say all of this? I guess, spirits just led me to just talk about one of my past lives. Look, I'm going to watch this video and I'm going to come back and I'm going to do what I actually came here to do. It's just the fact that, I move with the spirit and it led me to talk about this. And I will be right back because I got to talk to y'all, okay? I got to talk to my newbies. Please subscribe, okay?